Megyn Kelly, the MAGA podcaster who's kind of blown all around in the wind with different political trends, and now she's MAGA, but she accidentally revealed something that is pretty damning about Fox News that we all know, but it's crazy for her to admit, and about her when she worked at Fox News. And I'll just play this clip for you, but it's on the subject of Trump's invasion and takeover of Venezuela and what she has been observing in the Fox News reaction.
I really think this is something we need to consider both sides on. I really do. I don't think, let me just tell you something. When I was at Fox News, which was a long time, 14 years, I would have known exactly what to do in the wake of Trump's attack in Venezuela, his retrieval, shall we say, to put it in mild terms, of Nicolas Maduro. I would have known that I was supposed to cheerlead it. And I turned on Fox News yesterday, and I'm sorry, but it was like...
All right, we'll go forward in a second here. Hey, whoa. Don't jump on by that, okay? Did you just say that you would have known you go into work, and if you were working at Fox News, you would have known that you go on there and you cheerlead Trump invading, even if you don't believe that? Okay, could we spend a little second on that? Could we spend a little second on how you are? I'm going to say for our segment viewers, we do have some things going on in the office, getting some things cleaned up, so it's very loud outside of the studio. Are you admitting that you would just say things you didn't believe when you were on Fox News? Shocker, but also kind of a shocker. We kind of knew that, but crazy for you to admit. Okay.
Fox News yesterday, and I'm sorry, but it was like watching Russian propaganda. There was nothing skeptical. It was all rah-rah, cheerleading. Yes, let's go. And that's fine. I love our military as much as anyone, and I believe in President Trump. But there are serious reasons to just exercise a note of caution before we just get on the rah-rah train. All right, I have done that enough times in my career as a Fox News anchor to have been embarrassed enough to know I'm going to stay on the yellow light for this. I'm not in the green light territory. I'm not in the red light territory either, but I am staying in the yellow light territory for now. I see all...
I am getting really sick of these hosts going, now that I'm no longer on a particular network, now I can tell you the truth. Hey, stop falling for that, guys. As audience members, stop falling for people saying, I used to work in a machine that would force me to conceal what I really believed. Now I'm going independent and I can tell you what I really believe. They should have been telling you what they really believed the whole time. It's not admirable now to do it. It's like, no, but now I'm going to tell you the truth. So isn't that brave? No, that's what you're supposed to do. That's what now doesn't mean your views don't change, but you admitting that you would suppress your real beliefs for the sake of the company you were at kind of makes me not believe what you're doing now, because now you could just be having other beliefs that you think serve the platform you're on now. And it's not going to be a corporate overlord, but it could be algorithmic pressures. It could be audience capture. While you watch this, if you appreciate the fact that that's not me, you can click the subscribe button. Speaking of the algorithm, click that subscribe button.
All of the strategic advantages of what he's done, trust me, I do. I see that other countries like Russia and China and Cuba were all over Venezuela and its oil, posing a potential threat to the United States. I get that. That's actually the most persuasive argument, and obviously the real one, and none of this bullshit about law enforcement. But I have seen what happens when you cheerlead unabashedly U.S. intervention in foreign countries, thinking it's for our good and for the international good, only to wind up with what we've called quagmire in places like Iraq, not to mention Libya. We're not great.
Libya. The way she said that I think that is correct, but the way that she said it made me think of when I meet people and they go, I'm not real political, but I'm probably fiscally conservative and socially liberal. You know what I say? I'm going to Libya, meaning I'm going to lib you. I'm going to libify you. Libya.
Not to mention Libya. We're not great.
Libya? I barely even...
like Iraq.
I barely even know you. Libya, I barely even know you. Something about having all these noises is driving me a little loco. I'm about to start doing Trump's wrestling routine. Oh, mommy.
Yeah.
Places
Boom.
like Iraq, not to mention Libya. We're not great at going into these foreign countries, decapitating them at the leadership level, and then saying either we're going to steer the country to a better place or it's going to steer itself. Either one. They just, 9 times out of 10, they don't work out well. And what does it mean in terms of boots on the ground? Trump is saying, I'm actually fine with that in Venezuela. Well, whose boots? Because I have a 16-year-old boy. And I have a 12-year-old boy, and I have a 14-year-old girl. And a lot of my listeners have children, too, who are actually the ones who might have to fill the boots. So I think I speak for a lot of moms and dads, for that matter, when I say I'm staying in yellow territory until we know more. And I will not be joining the Fox News cheerleading brigade this time. I've been burned too many times.
I love how it really... Megyn. I appreciate you saying that about Fox News. It's good to always be transparent, even if it's a little late. But we knew, so you're not breaking a lot of news there. And what if you were brave enough to go red? Meaning red light. She's doing the red light thing. Yellow light sounds a little bit waffly. That's the easy way. It's easy to go, I see both sides, and I think that we should just, you know what we should do is go ahead and let Trump take over Venezuela, and then let's see how it goes, and then I'll decide. Oh, wow. Wowza. That's brave. That's brave of you. Maybe we could just, what if we just let Trump's entire presidency happen, and at the very end, depending on where public opinion is, I'll tell you what I believe. Yes, Jaden, there is that's what a light looks like, a traffic light for the image simulation, visual simulation. So the other part is it sounds like she's just more concerned with the fact that she's been embarrassed before. Like she keeps wording, I've been burned too many times. I've been humiliated. What about the truth of it all? What about telling the truth? As opposed to just, when I lied before, everyone made fun of me afterwards, and I won't be made fun of this time. Oh, or you could go with your gut and what you actually think is true. All right, then a little more. I
mean, you got Trump talking about Cuba's going to fall. Colombia's president better, quote, watch his ass. We're ready and loaded to go into Iran if protesters there get shot, because protests are happening in Iran as well. So we're going to be doing a shooting campaign in Iran. We're going into Colombia. We're potentially taking over Cuba. We're, quote, running and, quote, in charge of Venezuela now. And, you know, somebody's making the point on Twitter, how's that going to go, Aaron, as we inch toward the midterms and people are still worried about the cost of eggs and bread and milk, but Venezuela's going swimmingly?
Yeah, right. Perfectly fair take. But her friends over at Fox News, as she referenced, are just Russian propagandizing, but the American equivalent all the way home.
Yeah, Americans have to be paid back, that's for sure. We've lost trillions in Iraq and Afghanistan. I know the Venezuelan people would be fine with that. Frank.
Wait. Hold. Is the argument here our previous forever wars wasted so much money that we should repay ourselves with another forever war? Is that the argument? You know, I think the Venezuelan people understand that we lost a lot of money when we went and invaded Iraq and Afghanistan. And so I think that's why we should invade Venezuela. You know, it's just sort of to get paid back for all the money we lost last time we said a lie to justify getting us into a country such as Iraq. We just have a lot of money to make up for. But it's not all that on Fox News. I want to credit this person, Kat Timpf, for going on Gutfeld and being like, didn't we all say we were against this?
You have to see how some people might be feeling a little bit of whiplash here, given that Trump spent 10 years railing against U.S.-led regime change war. His own director of intelligence, as recently as 2 months ago, was railing against regime change war, and then he does one. So
it's just a regime change. The regime is still there, as far as I know. The vice president.
Let me get this straight. We go to a country, we capture their leader, we bomb it, and then we say, we run this country now, and that's not war. But when they say send cocaine over here that people are willingly snorting, that is war.
I think that
doesn't make any sense.
It does to me.
So credit to her. No, that does not make sense. She got a bunch of hate, apparently, receiving some very brutal personal attacks for having the same opinion on foreign policy as I've had my entire career, and for many of the same people who had claimed to share this view with me as recently as a few months ago. I thought it might be bad, but it's worse. Wow. And you heard him say, I don't really think it's regime change because the regime is still in power. Wait, but they're saying they're going to get it out of power. So then what would that be? Oh, wait, then if they do leave the regime in power, but just with different people, but the same allies of Maduro, what was it all for? If they conduct the same policies. So it's either a regime change war, and you think there's objectives that are worthwhile, or it's not one, but you're still doing whatever the heck this is, and thus you wouldn't be accomplishing the objectives that you would try to argue are worthwhile. Speaking of networks that were a little bit on edge about, CBS has been up to some strange things. And then this guy launched his new primetime show on CBS, off to a rough start, as MAGA-friendly new editor Barry Weiss is calling some of the shots.
Atmosphere. With Maduro now out, that base of power and influence could be out too. All right, to other news, as you just heard from Jill. Well, to other news now, to Governor Walz. No, we're going to do Mark Kelly. First day.
I love that. White Guy Association. And now we're going now to, who's this on my screen? Governor Walz. No, sorry, Joe Biden. No, sorry, Mark Kelly. I think that's kind of racist, sir. What do you think? All right, white dudes look the same? You racist?
Governor Walz. No, we're going to do Mark Kelly. First day, big problems here. Are we going to Kelly here, or are we going to go to Jonah Kaplan? We're doing Mark Kelly, possibly demoted from his retired rank of captain in the Navy. Hegseth issued what's known as a letter of censure for the Arizona Democrat over his participation in a video that called on service members to defy illegal orders without specifying which orders he had in mind. Hegseth called what the former combat pilot and astronaut did an act of sedition. Now we go to Minnesota. A surprise announcement from the Great Lake State there today. Tim Walz, the 2024 Democratic vice presidential nominee.
That's rough. I'm not trying to hate. I wish the best of luck to everybody. But a lot of the steps CBS has taken have caused a lot of concern. And I think that's perfectly reasonable. And I don't love the way he tried to explain that story. You know, Mark Kelly may be stripped of his rank. Hegseth says that it was seditious. And now we're moving on. What? There's so much more to the story. The story is that as U.S. law states, they reminded people you have the power to defy illegal orders, and then a retribution campaign because of that was sparked, trying to punish Mark Kelly and others for daring to remind service members of what the law already says and what we've already seen Hegseth state in older speeches. And the U.S. president called for the execution of Democrats for reminding service members of that duty. I feel like there's a little important context there other than just Hegseth says this guy's a big fat dick. And now we move on to our next story. This is CBS News.